How's it going, everyone? Savi Phone Weather Sponge Drop. Today is October 16, 2021, and today we're going to focus on the major Arctic blast that's expected to impact a lot of the United States this week, where we're going to see temperatures well below average in some areas, as well as some areas where we could see above average temperature as well. Before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. Make sure to like if you like this video, and make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather-related content. So let's begin by taking a look at the United States and where exactly we're expecting the temperatures to be colder than average for this coming week. And you see that it's going to be especially prominent along the East Coast, where we're going to see temperatures much colder than average, and it's as a result of a cold front that's moving through right now across the East Coast. And of course, behind the cold front is very cold Canadian air, as it's inducing a little bit of instability, which is causing some thunder shower activity throughout the East Coast. None of it, the instability isn't strong enough to be considered severe, but there is at least enough cold air to where we're going to see temperatures fall back to earth or even below average for this time of the year in October throughout many areas along the East Coast. However, it's a stark contrast when we take a look at the Midwest, where we're gonna experience warmer than average temperatures for this coming week, which would mean that you're gonna still feel like it's gonna be in the summer in the Midwest, thanks to the warmer than average temperatures. It certainly felt like that here along the East Coast, where along my area, along the East Coast, right around New Jersey, the temperatures were hovering right around the 80-degree range, and it felt very summer-like, but it's expected to come to an end by the beginning of this week on Sunday. And for the West Coast, you're also expected to experience colder than average conditions. Now, taking a look at what the European model is saying when it comes to the temperature anomaly. So this is how temperature anomalies look as of right now. You see that along the East Coast, the temperatures are well above average, and I could tell today along the East Coast, because here in New Jersey the temperatures were right around 80 degrees. But you see, look at that big stark contrast when it comes to temperature anomaly. Right behind this cold front, we see temperatures well below average for this time of the year during the month of October. And if we were to continue to move forward, only 24 hours out, you see that the colder than average temperatures move along the East Coast. So we should expect colder than average conditions along the East Coast for the most part. And in terms of the magnitude of how much colder than average temperatures you should expect in your area, right around the New York City area, you should expect the temperatures to be right around 1 to 2 degrees below average 24 hours from now, which isn't a ton, but it still will definitely be noticeable compared to the much warmer than average temperatures you've been experiencing this past week right around New York City metropolitan area. But you see that the cold air is especially going to be prominent right around the Appalachian Mountain Range, where we could see temperatures right around 10 degrees below average in the Celsius range, which is well below average. But it's a stark contrast, like I said, when we look at to the Midwest, especially the northern Midwest, where you guys are experiencing temperatures well above average, almost to the 20 degrees above average when it comes to the Celsius range, based off what the European model is saying. Let me actually show you a GFS model, and you see the GFS model agrees with it. For the most part, we still see colder than average conditions throughout the East Coast headed into this Monday, October 18th at around 8 a.m. So the morning should be especially cold for you guys right around the Northeast, right around the 40-degree range. If we were to take a look at the forecasted temperature, because it really gives a good idea of how much colder than average conditions you guys should expect, you see that pretty much all throughout the United States, the morning temperatures should hover right around the 40-degree range. You see 42 readings right around Pennsylvania, and for the most part, majority of the United States is experiencing morning temperatures hovering right around the 50-degree range, maybe to the low upper 40s to lower 50-degree range for most of the United States, with the exception of maybe southern Arizona, southern Texas, as well as Florida, of course, since of course it gets more short wave radiation from the sun, and the warm Atlantic Ocean water certainly does help raise the temperature right around the Florida area. But you see that the morning temperatures should be quite cold, and we even see some 30-degree ranges right around the northeast, as the temperatures should be colder than average for this time of the year. Right around the west coast, you see temperatures are hovering, especially in the higher elevations, even in the 20s, which is below average. And we even see some readings right around the 40s just along the coast of California. So this cold air won't impact exclusively the higher elevations of the west coast, as you see we're seeing quite a bit of 40-degree temperature ranges right along the west coast as well. So that's certainly something you guys need to keep in mind. Now, taking a look back at the temperature anomaly over the next several days, the cool down should last until I'd say maybe right around the Wednesday time frame, where we will begin to see the temperatures warm up just by a little bit to the above average range right around Wednesday. So for the Northeast, these fall-like conditions might not last that long, as by the Wednesday time frame right around October 19th, the temperatures should be down back to warmer than average, and it's as a result of another ridge that's gonna come and move through this area. If we were to take a look at the height anomaly for the United States at this point, you see that there's this big ridge, and this trough that was bringing a lot of colder than average conditions throughout the Northeast will eventually move eastward, and we're going to see the temperatures rebound back a little bit as a result of a little ridge forming right around the East Coast at this point, and this will extend to the Midwest as well, which is why you guys are experiencing warmer than average conditions, because a big ridge is bringing just strong southerly winds into the Midwest, and that's bringing a lot of that warmer southwestern and Mexico air mats into the Midwest, which is actually going to warm up the temperatures for this week. However, as for the West Coast, there's going to be a trough moving through, and we're going to see snow in the higher elevations, and it should bring quite a decent amount of cold air behind it. Of course, this trough is coming well from the northern latitudes of the Pacific Ocean, so of course it's going to entrain a lot of dry air, and that should cool down temperatures quite a bit along the west coast. However, this trough is expected to weaken and just pretty much get swallowed up by this ridge, and as a result, it won't inherit as much cold air. So we should see the cold air subside right around the west coast as this heads further eastward. So pretty much all in all, the west coast should experience well above average temperatures for this week. I'd say until indefinitely, pretty much, for the Midwest. While for the East Coast, I think this Arctic blast should continue until maybe the Wednesday timeframe, when we begin to see this ridge move. When we begin to see this ridge move along the East Coast, but it might end once again by the end of next week, where we will see that trough once again return to the East Coast. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Now, taking a look at another factor that really determines the temperatures we should expect over the next several weeks throughout the United States is the Arctic oscillation. You see, we've been in a negative Arctic oscillation, so it's safe to expect colder than average conditions for the most part along the East Coast for the near future, but it's expected to rebound back to a positive phase, so we might see temperatures again rebound back to the above average range during a positive Arctic oscillation, because of course during a positive Arctic oscillation we see that jet stream dip less far south, which would mean that we're going to see less of that cold air dip into the United States. So as a result, we should see temperatures rebound back to the above average range, which will keep that summer-like feel throughout the United States. But for the near future, it should be colder than average for a lot of the United States, so make sure to keep that in mind. So yeah guys, I guess this is it for this video. Make sure to prepare for this Arctic blast, because you should expect colder than average conditions, but we should see temperatures rebound back, I'd say, by next week once we get back into a positive Arctic oscillation. But I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.